We'll come back to talk some more about that much later, looking at the journey so far. But now let's move on to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited that has announced the successful restart of operations at the Warri Refinery and Petrochemical Company, WRPC. A revamp that has been completed at a cost of $900 million. Operating at 60% capacity, the refinery is now producing 125,000 barrels per day, with outputs including straight-run kerosene, automotive gas oil, and various grades of naphtha.
And with the operational takeoff of both the Warri and Port Harcourt refineries in November and December 2024, respectively, the federal government has unlocked a total refining capacity of 117,000 barrels per day. Looking ahead, the NNPC said it is set to accelerate work on the Kaduna refinery and the second phase of Port Harcourt's 150,000 barrels per day facility. Well, joining us to discuss this is International Energy Advisor, Strategy and Policy, and the Director of Desyton Energy, Desmond Agboifo. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Very good morning to you and a very happy new year to you all. Thank you so much.
To you as well.
Same to you. I think I want us to start with, understanding what exactly it means for a refinery to be at 60% capacity. What exactly does that mean? Because, every Nigerian, when they hear these stories are expecting that, well, that means that it's going to be producing PMS. That means that Nigerian, petrol stations are going to be flooded with petrol from these refineries. So what exactly does 60% mean?
Well, thank you very much. 60% is not a bad number to start. And first of all, I need to start by saying that it's a welcome development. We saw that just at the nick of time, just about when the year was about to end in 2024. This is now 2025. 60% capacity is still a far cry from its optimum capacity, I must say. And just to put the numbers correct, 60% is 75,000 barrels per day capacity. It's 125,000 that is installed. So what that means is that we'll be having up to that capacity that will refine, not PMS this time around. It's according to the GCO of NNPC. It's diesel, kerosene, LPG, and some heavy naphtha. But the point is that all of high quality products. So we'll see this product now, coming to the market from the Warri Refinery. And just as you said correctly, we have about a combined capacity of 117,000 barrels per day capacity of combined with the Warri and one in Port Harcourt. So clearly, the 60% it's a good place to start, and it's also good to mention to Nigerians that. As much as we are all, deficit of all the issues to see in the refinery today, this refinery has been saddled with a lot of issues from, being moribund for years. We've seen a lot of issues in the financial constraints, technical issues that has been a big issue for a long time. We've seen aging infrastructures in this refinery. All of these are issues that has kept us where we are. But again, I must say 60% is a good place to start. You see, I've always been an advocate of, it's better late than never. We see this step as a good point to move us forward. It's very time that we're having struggled with buying fuel at almost 5 times the price from when we kicked off in 2023 price regime. It's been 5 times the price, which is a big bust in the economy of the Nigerian people. It's also been an issue with people trying to struggle to get the product, even if they can afford it. And there's a whole lot to talk about it, but I think it's a good place to start.
All right, 60% capacity. How does this ensure that it contributes to our ability to no longer rely on imported products? And how does it really shape the journey for Nigeria's local energy security conversations?
Thank you very much. You see, the slogan for the NNPC is energy for today and energy for tomorrow. And clearly, we're still behind our required capacity. Nigeria has 445,000 barrels capacity per day. Combined now, it's about 117,000, which is just about 10% or so of what we used to do. Clearly, what that really means is we'll still definitely have to, have other means to support these volumes that we need in the countries per day. the two refineries that's picking up doesn't mean that we will not have issues with the supply of the PMS, which is a much more demanded product. We'll still need to also stretch our hands out to also get product availability from the Dangote Refinery, which of course has been one of the biggest news in industry for the past few months, even of last year. So yes, we'll still need to have other means to support what this is bringing, and then we also hope that this capacity will increase. And we expect that the Port Harcourt Refinery should increase capacity and pick up also, and also with the one in Kaduna. So all of this would help us to come to a point where we'll be self-sufficient at some point. And of course, I need to add this statement here that the goal of Mr. President is to ensure that there will be a net exporter of petroleum products. I think that's a big dream. Going from the fact that we're still trying to get our plans to work even to optimal capacity. But yes, it's a step that we must take, and it's a bullet that we must bite to get us to where we want to be.
Yeah. Also, to help clarify, now we're talking about 60%. Port Harcourt Refinery is also not fully functional. What is the possibility and the likelihood that we would have these two refineries fully producing PMS for the Nigerian market?
Well, thank you very much. Well, the likelihood is not far-fetched. We know very much that the capacity of the refinery is not at its optimal capacity now. I'd say let's keep our options open. I'm sure that these refineries will be able to get us the product that we need if we keep up this momentum of its capacity improvements. And just to be very clear, what we saw in the news just by GCO is just area one of the 125,000 barrels per day capacity of the refinery. There are three areas, so we expect that once we get the full areas working, yes, we'll be able to see that introduction of capacities to be able to help us to get PMS also refined. That's a big concern for Nigerian people today.
So this means that you're clarifying that it's currently not producing PMS for the Nigerian market.
At the moment, they're coming from the statement of the GCO. No, it's not. There are about 4 products right now. It's just diesel, things kerosene, some LPG, and some heavy naphtha. Right now, there's no PMS at the moment for now.
That includes the Port Harcourt Refinery?
Absolutely.
Okay, what would you say are the challenges, that these refineries, or the challenges that are being faced to ensure that we get to the point where these refineries can then produce PMS? And we're talking about even the second refinery in Port Harcourt, the new Port Harcourt Refinery, as well as the Kaduna Refinery that is still in the works. So what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that, these refineries coming alive and working in optimum capacity, what are the challenges they're facing? Also, how are we faring in terms of achieving the government's energy goal for 2025?
Well, thank you very much. There are a couple of issues and challenges that has affected the industry for a long time, and this capacity of this refineries to produce these petroleum products. First of which is the technical issues. Of course, the infrastructure is quite old. I recall that this refinery was commissioned in 1978. That's more than 40 years today. And equipment and facility has been outdated, and of course, it's still very, very inefficient. There are lack of maintenance that has set in, and there are issues with trying to run a lot of what's often called TAMs and turnaround maintenances that hasn't yielded its fruits. The second point is financial constraints. We've seen some lack of funding opportunities in these refineries. We've seen lack of investments in this refinery. There are a couple of studies that has been carried out on the value of these refineries, if we need to revamp it, or if we need to just do an outright sale. Well, while I'm not an advocate of outright sale of national assets, we need to make it work for the Nigerian people. That's also an issue of concern. And the third point is the management and the governance issue. We've seen a lot of lack of accountability, and thanks now to the PMCC structure of the NNPC that we can be able to now manage our production and see what we produce every day in terms of a much more regulatory structure to ensure that we know what to produce. and produce what we know as products for the Nigerian people to know, not as figures. And we've seen, of course, very clear policy and regulatory changes. The refinery has faced issues just in the past. Now we've seen the PIA has been passed. We've seen that product needs to be available for Nigerian people. Those issues were further about the governance and regulatory issues that has disturbed the industry. So the PIA has come to correct that. And finally, we've seen issues of security concerns and push the biggest elephant in the room, which is now the environmental issues, where the refinery has faced concerns, pollutions, and things like that. So these 3-4 issues have really, caused a prolonged dormancy in our refinery capacity in at large oil and gas industry of Nigeria.
When you say management, which body are you referring to? Does the NNPC play a role in this?
Well, management. So the refinery sits with the NMDPRA, which is now the body that oversees the management of the refinery. So the management issues here is due to the fact that there seems to be a lack of drive to ensure that we see this happen just over the time. And again, it's not a blame game. This issue has been on for quite a lot of time, and the NNPC also has a part to play in this. We've seen that this is an age-long issue coming in from different management of the NNPC for a while. So it's something that has not been focused for a long time, or for a couple of years now from the management side of the NNPC. But now we see, of course, an era of renewed hope, and I hope we have this renewed hope stay longer than we'll expect. We've seen that now. We've seen a president who is looking to ensure that this works, regardless of whether it's financial management or not. We see that this has to work for the Nigerian people, so that we reduce over dependency on trying to bring in imported products into the country.
Yeah. A final question from me is, again, clarity, because I think that's what a lot of Nigerians want to know. When the Port Harcourt refinery started, there were allegations of blending, and of course that emerged at that time, saying that Port Harcourt refinery wasn't actually producing. What they were doing was blending to get PMS. What can you say about that accusation? And where is the NNPC currently getting petrol that it's supplying to its stations?
Well, thank you very much. Well, the issue of blending has been a big controversial issue. Issue that has littered the social media about having to have some transactions with the Warrri Refinery. But again, I think what is important is the NNPC sits as the chief custodian of the Nigerian petroleum industry, and clearly the structure of the Nigerian industry is clear, whereby the IOCs or the operators, sits on the left side of the divide, and NNPC sits on the right side of the divide. Clearly, there is a capacity that the NNPC must provide, and the IOCs or the operators also must have available for the Nigerian markets. Clearly, it sits around Section 92, I think, of PIA that says that product will not be available for the Nigerian people from the government. That's the point. And so, because we operate quite a complex structure in our fiscal regimes, the IOCs that operate the production sharing contract also have a mandate to ensure that products are available. So yes, we will see that the economy needs to hold an NNPC accountable for that. But they are the chief custodians that ensure that products are available, because, of course, they issue licenses to companies who produce this oil. So they also have the mandatory and regulatory role to play to ensure that products are available. It's a leadership organization in the oil and gas industry.
All right, Desmond Agboifo, thank you for joining us this morning. Well, we would say that this is some good news to start the year with, and we look forward to see much progress in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, gentlemen and lady, and I hope you have a happy new year. Thank you so much.
You as well.
All right.